Hi, I'm Kristen McClure, and today I want to talk a little bit about emotions. I talk all the time with my clients about emotions. It's something we all struggle to understand. I wish that we could learn about emotions when we were children, and so do all my clients. In fact, they tell me this all the time. There is no class in high school about this. It's probably the most important thing we could possibly learn. A particular emotion isn't healthy or unhealthy. It's our relationship with our emotions that can be the problem. It's how we experience and deal with our emotions that can become unhealthy. Learning how to have a relationship with our emotions is really part of what we learn in therapy. So emotions are generated in response to situations, but they aren't objective. They're really about our responses to what we think is happening and what we think that means for us. They're responses that are interpretations of what we believe is going on. Our beliefs may or may not be true, and they're really influenced by a variety of things. And some of those things, are the most important of which is probably what kind of upbringing we had. So whether we came from a family that taught us that we were lovable and that the world was safe, or one that taught us that we weren't lovable or that the world wasn't safe. That's really going to impact how we interpret a situation and going to influence our perceptions, which is going to create the emotions that we have about particular circumstances. And then there's some simple things that will also impact our emotions, such as our stress level or how much sleep we've had, or whether we're suffering from hunger, or whether we're having particular issues with the person that we're having an emotional response to. Whether we're struggling from a mental health issue, such as anxiety or depression, or whether we're having a grief response. When our emotions are in tune or in sync with reality, they can be really helpful. But when they're not in sync with reality, they can cause us some trouble. A big part of what we do in therapy is learn to identify and process our emotions, and then learn how to decipher when our emotions are in sync with what's happening and when they're not. And eventually, we can learn to have confidence in ourselves, and we can learn to ourselves decipher whether our emotions are really accurate or in sync with what's happening, and then to take action based on the clues that they're giving us. So, for example, if I'm prone to believe that people in relationships with me are likely to hurt me, then when I call someone and they don't call me back, I might have an emotional reaction of hurt or of anger, because I'm going to think that they're doing something wrong. Whereas if I'm not prone to think that, then I may be more likely to believe that they're busy, or something came up, or they didn't get my message, in which case the emotional response that I'm going to have is not hurt or anger. So that's just an example of how all of these things are going to impact our emotional response to a particular situation. Another part of therapy is helping us to not act on our emotions. And this is another way that emotions can be complicated and harmful, is even if we have an accurate emotional read on a situation, we can be very reactive. And so therapy helps us not to act on our emotions and be reactive. So For example, in that situation, if I was correct about this person not calling me back and they did it to me often and I felt hurt or angry, if I was reactive with my emotions, then I might call them up and curse them out or tell them I hated them or something like that. So therapy can help us to learn how to not let our emotions rule us and how to be thoughtful and problem solve our responses so that our emotions don't harm us and harm our relationships. So those are the two main ways that therapy can help us to learn how to be wise with our emotions and be skillful with our emotions. I hope that video has been helpful. I'm Kristen McClure.